promised you I would do a short video on both books. I recently released Letters from Lauren and the Lauren B. Marks letters because I received some emails by readers who were more or less confused as to what the difference is between the two books. So I'm going to explain the differences between the two books and show you a little more of the inside of the books. Of course, much of that is also available for you to see on Amazon. So the first book I released was Letters from Lauren. And Letters from Lauren is a 6 by 9 inches book which is available in a hardcover edition and in a paperback edition. The interior of both editions is similar, but as you can see, the hardcover edition is a little larger. But basically, both of these books are 6 by 9 inch books. So I have the paperback here, and again, the only difference between the paperback and the hardcover is actually the cover, and of course, because of the cover, the size of the hardcover is a little larger. The interior is the same. Okay, what do you get? This is a book in the 94th Infantry Division Historical Research Center History Series. That means you get a lot of history in this book. Again, this is a book about the Lauren B. Marks letters. These letters, I acquired them about 7 years ago, and I added them to the collection of the 94th Infantry Division Historical Research Center, and I decided to see if I was able to retrace the history of this Lauren B. Marks after saving his letters, his World War II letters, from being sold piecemeal on the internet. So as you can see, there's some tricks here in the cover as well, which I will be continuing as I write more books on the 94th Infantry Division. You obviously have the title, which gives away a lot of what is in the book, but then you also have the 376th Infantry Regiment crest on the cover. So that is a dead giveaway that this book is mainly about the 376th Infantry Regiment. So people who are interested specifically in that regiment have an easy way to see, okay, this book is about the 301st, this book is about the 376th, etc. On the top you can see that this is a book in the history series. So again, these history series contain basically a narrative. These books mainly focus on text. So what are the contents of Letters from Lauren, a 94th Infantry Division soldier's story, 1944 to 1946? As you can see, we're starting here in part 1 with the Marks letters. So basically the first part is a transcription of the 70 plus letters that Lauren B. Marks wrote and that are part of the collection I was able to save from being sold piecemeal on the internet. So you have a literal transcription of these letters with a short introduction to them, and these letters are chronologically presented to the reader in the book, and in some instances you can see that you will be shown a photograph of the actual letter, but these are only the transcriptions of these letters. In the second part of the book, the reader will get the bigger picture. So I have placed these letters within the history of Company B, 376th Infantry. So in this second part, you will read about Lauren B. Marks' youth, his induction, his training, and of course everything that he went through as Company B, 376th Infantry, went overseas to Great Britain, then to France, and then to the Czar-Moselle Triangle, all the way to Ludwigshafen, all the way to Czechoslovakia, and then all the way back home. So you follow Lauren B. Marks on his journey from the States to England, to France, to Germany, to Czechoslovakia, and back home in 1946. Lord B. Marks came home with the 80th Infantry Division, so the book obviously focuses on that, but it still gives you what happened to Company B, 376th Infantry, when it was deactivated. So it follows both these paths. Of course, you have pictures, you have many maps in the book as well. There are some illustrations of the letters that Lauren wrote when and where applicable and relevant. And you also get the story of my search for Lauren B. Marks. So my travels into the Czar-Moselle Triangle, meeting with many people while doing research there on this story, on the history of Lauren B. Marks and the history of Company B, 376th Infantry. So you get that as well. And then basically what you get is that this narrative that switches between what Lauren B. Marks experienced and then the bigger picture of World War II in general, and then my experiences in the past couple of years trying to retrace his steps, trying to add to my understanding of what Lauren B. Marks went through during this 1944-1946 period. So that is the second part of the book. And then, of course, in the book, you have the appendix, several of them. You have the sources, a glossary, and of course, there's an explanation on military units and military terminology. And there's a rather large index in it as well. Okay, so that's Letters from Lauren. That's the first book. Again, 6 by 9 inches. The other book is the Lauren B. Marks letters. It is only available in a paperback edition because they won't allow full color printing in a hardcover edition on this size. Frankly, I think being a paperback makes it easier to read this book and to take in all the illustrations, the letters as they are. But this book is 8.5 by 11 inches in size. We have the same things going on the cover here. Obviously, there's a title, but then there's this other picture of Lauren B. Marks, and you not only have the letters, but you also have several photographs. Again, this is a book on the 376th Infantry, so you get the crest of the 376th. And this book is a book in the 94th Infantry Division Historical Research Center Resources series, meaning what you get in these 8.5 by 11 inches books are pictures in full color in actual size of 94th Infantry Division related resources. So if we take a look in the interior, you can immediately see that this is a full color book, as the 94th Infantry Division Historical Research Center logo is in full color. Of course, you have contents and a list with illustrations, and because this is a resources book, the list of illustrations is rather long, as basically on every page of this book are illustrations, are resources, documents in full color. You again have a foreword, an introduction to all the letters, and then it basically starts with a chapter that has a very short introduction, which is a summary of what Lauren B. Marks experienced during that period. So it's only 2 columns because, again, this book focuses on the resources and not on the bigger story behind Lauren B. Marks and these letters. And then it just goes on and on. As you can see, the letters, they have scale bars with them, so they are actual size. You have a reference to the collection number, and as you can see, what you will get is basically the front and the back of all the items that were in this collection. So even the paper clippings have the front and the back depicted. So there's still stuff to be seen on the back of all these small clippings that Lauren B. Marks sent home, and that hold additional information on the 94th Infantry Division history. So you get all these females documents in full size, and it actually is a lot. It is a lot of pages holding all these documents, and again we have some photos in them, and again every chapter starts with two columns which give the reader a sort of idea of what happened during the time that the letters in that period were written. So some 210 pages are basically the letters. All these letters plus the clippings, telegrams, stuff like that, depicted in full size with skill bars and the inventory numbers. The last chapter in the book holds all kinds of photographs, additional letters, and other materials that came from the family estate after I was able to get in touch with Lauren B. Marks' daughter Sharon, and we obviously exchanged a lot of emails, a lot of information on her dad, and she also was able to send me more pictures and materials that her father kept from World War II, and that she subsequently kept from World War II. So on many of these pictures, Lauren wrote who was on them. So this is a great resource for people researching Company B, 376th Infantry, and people who want to know, okay, who was in that, because this book also holds several names of Company B guys that were there. So that's about it. I'll show you both books so you can compare them. So again, here you have the 8.5 by 11 inches size. This is the 6 by 9 inches size. You see that the front cover is comparable, but then again you have a different photograph, and this one is in color. Both of course have the 376th Infantry crest, but then the banner on top differs as well, as this is the history series and this is the resources series. In future books I will do the same thing. So if you see a 6 by 9 inches volume, this is always a history series which holds a story. This could be a memoir, this could be the history of a specific unit within the 94th, this could be the history of a specific event that happened, but it is a narrative. It will have relevant photos, relevant maps, but it does not focus on resources. Pictures will be in grayscale, but usually these books will have more pages. They will be annotated, they will have an index, they will have a resources section, they will probably have an appendix or more of them, glossary, stuff like that. So that's the history series. The resources series will always focus on actual resources. These will always be books that are in full color. They could have maps in them, they can have photographs in them, they can have documents in them, but they basically give you the resources that go with the 94th Infantry Division history. If they are about a specific infantry regiment or a specific unit within the 94th Infantry Division, you will see that on the cover, and you will see that when you look at the crest that is depicted on the cover. So that again is a fast giveaway. But the 8.5 by 11 inches books will always be full color, will always be on 94th Infantry Division resources. They will have some kind of explanation in them, some kind of annotation in them, so that you'll probably find footnotes and stuff like that, but mostly these books will be about the resources themselves. So that's it for now. I hope this helps. If you have any questions on both of these books, just send me an email at 94th Infantry Division Books at gmail.com. Send me your questions, send me your comments. If you see any small errors or if you have any questions on the contents, feel free to email me, because then I will be able to correct that in future releases. And if you have any material on the 94th that could add to books like these, don't hesitate to get in touch with me, and we can always see if this material is suitable for one of my upcoming publications. So I hope you enjoyed this rather improvised video, but again, I just wanted to do a quick video that compared both of the books that are out now, and then a small teaser at the end. The next book will be about the 301st Infantry, a resources volume. So keep a watch for that. Thanks for buying the books. If you buy them, if you read them, rate them. Please rate them on Amazon. Let me know what you think. I'm very curious to know what you think. I hope you enjoy the books, and by buying these books, you are supporting the 94th Infantry Division Historical Research Center, and by buying these books, you are actively supporting the 94th Infantry Division Historical Research Center, which allows me to do more research and publish more on the 94th Infantry Division. As you know, the 94th Infantry Division Research Center is a non-profit organization, so everything will be used to do research on the 94th Infantry Division and publish on it. So thank you for that. Thank you for your support. I hope you enjoy the books. Again, if you have any questions, just send me an email and I'll get back to you.